All right, second grade. So today we're going to talk more about irregular verbs. So right now I want you to go get your grammar page 93 and 94. Go, 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 go. So yesterday you all learned when and where to use the word has, have, and had. So today we're going to keep that same concept going with page 94 and 93 and 94. So let's first look at page 93. We're going to do page 93 together, and then on page 94, you're going to do it independently. So let's look at page 93. Page 93, the direction says read each sentence using the correct verb. Write each sentence using the correct verb in parentheses. So the first sentence I kind of did for you, but let's go ahead and read the first sentence. The first sentence says, Elmer blank a swimming lesson today. So of course it's already given to you. So your answer should be Elmer has a swimming lesson today. So you should be circling has and you should be writing the sentence with the word has in it. Again, you should be circling has in the parentheses, and then you should be rewriting the sentence with the word has in it. So your sentence will read, Elmer has a swimming lesson today. All right, now let's look at number 2. Number 2 says, he blank everything ready. Would it be he have everything ready or he has everything ready? Which word best fits the sentence? Is it has or have? If you said or if you chose the word have, you're close but not quite. Let's try again. What if we choose the word has? He has everything ready. Does has sound right? Yes. So circle has in the parentheses. And then we're going to rewrite the sentence where we will write on the line, we will write he has everything ready. We will write he has everything ready. Again, you're going to circle the word in the parentheses that will best fit the sentence. And then you're going to rewrite the sentence with the word that you circled. You guys can pause the video at any time if I am moving too fast. All right, let's look at number 3. Number 3 says, I blank my lesson today too. Would it be I have my lesson today too? Or I has my lesson today too? Would it be I have my lesson today too? Or would it be I has my lesson today too? Have is correct. I have my lesson today too. So you're going to circle the word have, and then you're going to rewrite the sentence with the word have in it. Again, you're going to circle the word have, and then you're going to rewrite the sentence with the word have in it. So your sentence should read, I have my lesson today too. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 sentence says, my tent blank a hole in it last week. My tent blank a hole in it last week. Would it be had or has? Would it be had or has? My tent had a hole in it last week, or my tent has a hole in it last week? Remember, last week is past tense. So which word, had or has, represents past tense? If you chose has, you are almost there, not quite. Remember, has is present tense. If something has it or has it right now, that means that they have it right now. But if something had, or if something, or you might have had something maybe 3 days ago, had is normally past tense. So your sentence should read, my tent had a hole in it last week. So you're going to circle the word had, and then you're going to rewrite the sentence with the word had in it. Again, you're going to circle the word had, and then you're going to rewrite the sentence with the word had in it. Now let's look at number 5. Number 5 says, my mom blanked to get me a new tent. My mom blanked to get me a new tent. Would it be have or had? Would it be have or had? Would it be my mom have to get me a new tent? Or would it be my mom had to get me a new tent? Would it be my mom have to get me a new tent? Or would it be my mom had to get me a new tent? If you say the word had, that is correct. You're going to circle the word had, and then you're going to write the word had in the sentence. So your sentence will read, my mom had to get me a new tent. My mom had to get me a new tent. So again, you're going to rewrite this sentence, and you're going to write the word had in the sentence. You're going to rewrite the sentence, and you're going to write the word had in the sentence. All right, so now let's go back through them. So number 1, you should have had, Elmer has a swimming lesson today. Number 1, you should have had, Elmer has a swimming lesson today. Number 2, you should have had, he has everything ready. Number 2, you should have had, he has everything ready. Number 3, you should have had, I have my lesson today too. Number 3 is, I have my lesson today too. For number 4, you should have had, my tent had a hole in it last week. For number 4, you should have wrote, my tent had a hole in it last week. And then for number 5, you should have had, my mom had to get me a new tent. For number 5, you should have had, my mom had to get me a new tent. All right? So now we have already completed numbers 1 through 5. Now we're going to complete numbers 6 through 8. So the directions for the second half of your sheet for numbers 6 through 8, it says, look at the picture of the campers. Write 3 sentences. Use the verbs has, had, and have. So let's look at the picture of the campers. Let's look at the picture of the campers. What is one sentence that you might have about the campers? What is one sentence that you might have about the campers? What may be one sentence? I can tell you one sentence that I might have. I could say, the campers had a great trip. So what verb did I use? If I said the campers had a great trip, what verb did I use? Had is correct. So I'm going to write for number 6, the campers had a great trip. Again, your sentence doesn't have to be the same as mine, but you can always just use the one that I wrote. So I'm writing the campers had a great trip. And which verb did I use? I used the verb had. Now, you all don't have to underline which verb you used. I would just look to see which verb you use, but I'll underline my verb so that way you know which verb I use. So for had, I used the campers had a great trip. Now I have to use have and has. So again, we're going to look at the campers. So another sentence that I can make, I can say one camper has a, what is that in his hand? Has a ball. So I can say one camper has a ball. So that can be my sentence for number 7. I can say one camper has a ball. What verb did I use? The verb I used was has. One camper has a ball. So now I need one more sentence using the word have. Let's see. Let's look at the picture. So from the picture, maybe they weren't ready to go. So maybe someone said, do we have to leave? Do we have to leave? So my next sentence can say, do the campers have to leave? Although it's not a sentence, it's a question, but a question is a form of a sentence. So I can say, do we have to leave? So my next sentence or question can be, do we have to leave? And since I said that this is a question, what type of mark am I putting at the end? I will be putting a question mark. And again, what verb word did I use? I used the word have. So let's look back at my sentences. So my first sentence, looking at the picture, I say that the campers had a great trip. The campers had a great trip. My second sentence that I created was one camper has a ball. One camper has a ball. And then my very last sentence, although it is a question that I created, was, do we have to leave? Because if the campers had a great trip, they want to know, do they have to leave? Think of you. Whenever you go somewhere fun, let's say you all went to Disney World, or maybe you went to Medieval Times, or maybe you went to Busch Gardens. Wherever your fun or your best trip may have landed you, did you not ask your parents, do we have to leave? Can we just stay one more night? So maybe that's what the campers are saying. They're probably wondering, do they really have to leave? Because if they want to stay, then they want to know, well, maybe we can stay one more night, Dad. So that's why my question came up. Do we have to leave? So now let's look at the back. Your back looks just like this. The back of your paper looks just like this. So on the back, the first part of the direction says read each sentence. If has, had, or have is used correctly, write yes. If the verb is not used correctly, write no. So if the verb is used correctly, the verb being has, had, or have, if it is used correctly in each sentence, write the word yes on the line. If it is used incorrectly, you're going to write the word no. So let's look at the first one. Number 1 says, I has a bucket. Is has used correctly in I has a bucket? No, has is not used correctly. So on the line beside number 1, you're going to write the word no. You're going to keep doing that for numbers 2 through 5. And then when you are done numbers 2 through 5, you're going to go to the second half of the paper. The second half of the paper says write the sentences that are incorrect above. Rewrite the sentences that are incorrect above. Write them correctly on the lines. So let's say number 1, for instance, that was one that was incorrect. So instead of saying I has a bucket, how would you rewrite I has a bucket? Would you use had or have? Honestly, you can use either one. You can use I have a bucket or I had a bucket. If you had a bucket, you no longer have it. But if you have a bucket, you have a bucket with you right now. So that means that you can use either have or had. But you're going to rewrite the sentence with the correct verb in it. All right? So that's what you'll do for numbers 6 through 8. That completes reading for today, and I will see you all in math.